Hi there, I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are
Fatigue of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woo! Yay! Awesome weekend.
Yeah, we did a lot,
We did.
despite feeling
Oh my
like
gosh.
mud for most of it.
Yes.
We did do a lot this weekend.
Mhm.
It was a crazy weekend.
It was
Probably more than we should have done.
Yes.
But there we were.
Yep. One of the things that you did last week, we're going to be talking about today, because you were on a webinar.
Yeah, I was on a webinar
that I signed you up for.
Which is usually the way that works.
Yep. and it was about this book right here, The 12-Week Year. Great book by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. If you haven't gotten it yet, go get it. I know Jim and I talk about different books, and we have for a long time. We've talked about lots of different books.
We got a bunch to talk about right now. I'm trying to make my way through all of them.
This particular book talks about getting stuff done in a compressed amount of time.
Right. It talks about instead of thinking annually, thinking in terms of instead of 12 months, 12 weeks.
12 weeks. And so the title is The 12-Week Year.
Yeah.
And basically what the premise of the book is, and we probably talked about this before.
We may have.
The premise of the book is most people, they'll set goals in January that they have to achieve by the end of December.
Right.
And instead of start working on them in January, they say, oh, I got a whole year.
I got lots of time.
I got tons of time. Yeah. And so spring goes by and not a whole lot. Summer happens, and what happens in the summertime?
Everybody goes on vacation.
Yeah, kids are out of school. Well, we don't have time for
they're
this.
going to swimming pool, and they're having a good time. And then as the summer starts to end, now the kids' activities are ramping up. There's football practice. There's band camp. There's you name it. And then you got to get those last few licks in at the pool or the beach. Yeah. And then school starts.
And then next thing you know, it's September, maybe October, and you're like, oh, I was supposed to do something.
I was supposed to do some stuff.
I guess I better get to it.
Yeah.
And you do. And the amazing part is you achieve the goals. Even though you didn't start working on it until, September, October timeframe.
Right.
And obviously you're going to want to make sure that you get it done before Christmas, because nobody wants to be working the week between Christmas and New Year's.
No.
And you're not going to do anything usually during Thanksgiving week either. So there's a compressed amount of time that you are doing all of this in. And it averages out to about 12 weeks. In about a 3-month period, you can get what it is that you need to be done that you had given yourself an entire year to do. And that's the premise of the book, is that you can basically get everything done in that 12-week period. So why not just look at the year as a 12-week period?
Yeah.
And that's the premise of it. Each week is basically the equivalent of 1 month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you set your time parameters. You set up your 12 weeks. So that way, in theory, you could achieve 4 times as much over the course of a year as what you're doing now.
Right. Even though you don't necessarily have to, because that's one of the other things that I've taken from it so far, is that a lot of times people will set goals and priorities for several different things, and some get more attention than others. Their idea is you focus on just a few goals,
right,
and you work during those 12 weeks like crazy to accomplish those goals. And by doing that, it allows you to have more focus.
Yeah. Yeah, they say one is better than two, two is better than three. No more than three.
No more than three. That's exactly. I heard that so many times
Yeah.
when I was watching the webinars. No, and you have to stop and think about that. That one is better than two. It's like, well, you have to have one to start with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just sitting on your front porch watching the world go by. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Got to have at least one goal. But then when they say one is better than two, it's like, oh, well, that's the opposite of what the rest of the world tells us all the time. Yep. With the idea being that if you have that singular goal for that 12 weeks, then you can pour all of your energy and all of your time into accomplishing that goal. And by doing that, what are the odds that you're actually going to accomplish that goal?
Pretty good.
It'd be pretty good if you've only got one and you just, that's it. You go after that and that's all you do. That's focused like a laser beam. Mm-hmm. And they even use the analogy of talking about light, light that's spread out. Yeah. It can illuminate things, but it doesn't have much power, but light concentrated, and you can cut through concrete and steel. And so, I guess you can cut through steel with laser beams. I don't know. I know you can cut through a lot of stuff with laser beams. But I'm not an expert in that field. So, don't hold that against me if I don't know. But yeah, and so that's why I kept finding interesting when they say one is better than two is better than three. Mm-hmm. And then they would finish it no more than three.
Nope.
Like, oh.
Nope.
And the idea there is, again, to make sure that you are clearly focused on just one or two or a maximum of three goals for that 12 weeks.
Period. Yeah.
And I guess that also means that you need to make sure that something you can actually accomplish in 12 weeks.
Yeah.
My guess is that's one of the things where some people will look at this and they'll go, oh, great. Well, I'm going to make $1 million in my business over the next 12 weeks. It's like, okay, have you made $1 million in your business in 12 weeks before? And the answer would usually be no. It's like, have you made anything close to $1 million? And have you made $1 million in 12 months? And the answer is probably no. It's like, well, what makes you think you're going to be able to do that in 12 weeks? It needs to be something that also needs to be achievable. Mm-hmm. And, doesn't mean that, you definitely want to stretch.
Right.
But that's a bit of a big stretch. Some people will do crazy things like that. And then it doesn't work. And they go, see, it didn't work.
Yeah. So our 12-week is going to start next Monday.
Yes.
Right? September 4th.
Yep.
And it's going to go till when in November?
I believe November 24th.
Okay.
I believe that's dates. November 24th and November 28th, but I believe it's 24th.
Okay.
I have it written down somewhere.
Very good. So that's when our 12-week period is going to be. And then we're not going to start up again until December, correct?
Or we're going to actually probably January.
Okay.
Just because at that point, all you've got left is December. Mm-hmm. And then by my way of thinking, if we've got stuff going on, we make sure that we accomplish the goals we wanted to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And then if we have some secondary things that have come up, that's what we work on in December. Right. And we can spend December planning for our next 12 weeks. And
part of what's going to go on is if you are part of the Plan Your Profits in Paradise entrepreneurial cruise retreat that Heather and I are hosting, we're going to be using the 12-week year.
Oh, good.
During that. So we're going to be talking about this during the cruise, and the cruise is in November. Mm-hmm. And so, by the way, there are still spots available if any of you want to do the last minute Plan Your Profits in Paradise and get everything going and figure out how to achieve all you want for the coming year.
And I'll be there too.
Yes.
But you two are running the program. Yep. But I'm there as I guess I'll be a gopher or something.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So, and having fun. It'll be my first ever cruise. So we will see how that goes. I know it's taking this long.
But this is one of the resources that we're going to be using during that process. And the reason being is because we want you to get a jump start on getting things done. And that's going to be one of the ways to do it. So that's part of what we're going to be planning. Um, so did you want to tell them what our goals are? Because there's 2 that we're going to work on in the next 12 weeks.
I can.
Okay.
If you want to share that,
Go ahead.
Are you sure you want to share that?
That means they're going to hold us accountable.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking. Are you sure you want to share that? Yeah, we have 2 very specific goals. Yeah. The first one deals with, we have a set amount of money that we intend to make. I don't know if you want to give them the number. We'll just say it's a set amount of money. Yeah. We've made a determination of what we think and feel we need to do over that 12 weeks to get us into the position that we need to be in.
To start 2024.
Yeah, to start 2024, get ourselves into a good position where we can have a little bit of downtime in December, enjoy our work. That's the other thing. When you're done, you look back at it and you go, hey, man, we made that. Yeah. Can you believe that? That's great. And then start planning for the next one. So, and it's an amount that's going to be challenging, but it's doable. It's doable. And like I said, I think it'll be an amount that will put us in a position where we will go into the next year really strong. It will give us enough for the resources that we're going to need to acquire, and get us in a position to do it, because we got some big things that we want to do in 2024. Right. So, and then the second one, this one I'll share the numbers with you. It's to lose some more weight. Yeah. And, that's to help us out physically. Starting to get to an age, unfortunately, where, you become more susceptible to things, kind of like we were susceptible to the bug we've been tussling with for you. It's been almost 2 weeks.
It'll be 2 weeks on Thursday.
Yeah. So you're pushing on 2 weeks. For me, it's been about a week, and I'm just about over it. So hopefully I will be completely over it by tomorrow, because I'm going to be going to audition for a choral group.
And you got training to do tomorrow.
Yeah, I got training due tomorrow. And so hopefully by the time I get to the training, get to the audition, my voice will be nice and clear. If not, I will just have to let them know that I've still got a little bit of this stuff in my system here that may
impact my voice. So
what's
our weight goal?
Oh, the weight goal. Let's see. I think, did we say 20 pounds each?
20 pounds each.
Yeah. So we are, but yeah, that's part of it is, for our health and also for appearance, just because we know that, when you weigh less than in video and in pictures, you look better. Yeah, it does look better. That's why before we went down to Orlando, we had done some dieting, and actually I had lost 20 pounds. We did our physicals the week before we went down there, and I had lost over 20 pounds between physicals. So my doctor was very happy about that. And I've kept that off for the most part. I picked up a couple back because we were eating, and now we've had to eat, try to keep our strength up to fight this bug. It's one of the things I had to keep telling myself. No, you got to eat. You got to eat. You need the strength, buddy. And that's tough when you going out, but I need to lose the weight. No, you don't try to diet while you're sick. It doesn't work very well. So, yeah, so it's, I think, did we agree 20 pounds each? 20 pounds or we're going to say 20 for you and 25 for me?
No, 20 pounds
20 pounds each. Okay. So that's what we're going to be working on. And in 12 weeks time, that's doable. That's very doable. It's just going to be a matter of being very focused and disciplined. We've got the program for losing the weight. We've already, been on using that, prior to, again, this break that we had to take for the travel and everything. And so, and actually what I would really like to do is to have the 20 pounds gone by the time we hit that cruise.
That'd be nice.
That way, then, because, it's a cruise, you're going to eat.
Yes.
Even though you can still be careful. But I fully expect probably pick up a pound or two.
Well, we're going to be going to the Bahamas and to Mexico.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. Especially Mexico. We're going to be going to Cozumel, which is where we got married. Long time ago in a land far, far away.
Almost 26 years ago.
In Mexico.
Yes.
Once upon a time in Mexico.
One of the other things that I like about this particular book, the 12-week year, is it's very similar to what I do, what the two of us do with Ready, Set, Goals. As far as they've got a whole chapter in here about knowing what your vision is, and you truly do need to have a vision of where it is that you're wanting to go. Because if you don't have a vision, then what is it you're working towards?
What are you working towards? What are you doing? And that's why, especially when it comes to something like losing weight, and I've said this before, it can't be enough just to say, well, I want to lose the weight to look good. There generally has to be, for most people. Now, some people can do just fine with that, but there's a lot of people, they will lose the weight and then they'll gain it back and they fail. And the reason is because they have no reason other than they want to be thinner for losing the weight. Well, that's generally not enough.
No.
It doesn't help you with the process. And it's interesting because this book and then another one that I'm reading, the Atomic Habits by James Clear, they talk about systems. They talk about systems, and that's the problem for most people when they're doing things like trying to lose weight. They don't have a good system. They may have a system that can get them there, but then they have no system to keep them there. And there's no other thing that they're doing. My view is always that, if you're going to spend all that time to work out and to get in great shape, do something with it. Even if it's, the senior games or something like that, doing the 5K walks if you don't like running, or the 5K runs, or some other sort of physical thing, activity that you could participate in. Start climbing rock walls and basically try to figure out how you can get faster and faster and better at doing that. But there you're actually using what you're doing, or even something like what is it? It's what do they call that, where they do all of the exercises and it's the competition? CrossFit. Yeah, even if you do something like joining CrossFit, where you're doing these exercises and sequences and you're trying to get faster and faster and better, you can compete against other people, you can compete against yourself, but there's got to be some additional reason. This for most people, and again, some people they're perfectly good at losing weight and they can keep it off and they don't need to do things like that. Good for you. If that's you, great. Then just ignore everything I just said. If that's not you, then that's part of your problem with keeping it off. Because that's what I find when I talk to people. Their biggest problem isn't taking it off. It's keeping it off. And again, if there's, you had the goal of taking it off, now what's your next goal? What is your incentive? How are you going to keep yourself motivated to keep it off?
And that's the key, is to maintain that weight range that you're comfortable with. It's the same with your business though. When you set goals for business, when you set like revenue goals or a certain number of customers or a certain number of sales, once you reach it, how do you maintain that? Because that's what you need to do. And so that's what you're looking at. And like you were saying, there's actual systems in here that are built in that help you figure out how you can stay at that level.
Right. Because that's one thing, it's like with the goal that we've set, when we make that goal, we will be celebrating. It'll be good. We will have done well. But then the question becomes, all right, what's next? And next is to take it even higher. The next 12 weeks to perform even better and to keep performing better so we can scale and get to the ultimate goals that we're after. That's the other cool thing about this is like setting mini goals that can help you. It's what I call goal layering. And you have those mini goals that can help you get to that larger goal that you actually want, which for us, it's a particular house.
Yeah.
And this is going to help us get there.
Yes. So 12-week year.
Excuse me.
Like I said, if you're coming on the Plan Your Profits in Paradise Entrepreneurial Cruise Retreat with us, you're going to be using it. If not, you need to sign up and come on the Plan Your Profits in Paradise Entrepreneurial Cruise with us, because we're going to have a good time.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there, so you know it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great time. Anyway, go to the website. What is our website so they can get more information about the cruise?
Teagueofyourown.com.
Teagueofyourown.com. That is correct. What if they want to email us with questions?
info@ateagueofyourown.com.
info@ateagueofyourown.com is correct. What if they want to call or text us? Can they do that?
They can.
Okay, and what's the number?
412-420-7975.
412-420-7975 is correct. You can also find us on social media. What social media outlets are we on?
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram.
That is correct. We are indeed on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Plus, all of these get streamed live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We'd appreciate that. All right. We will see everybody next week, next Monday, like usual. Any ideas what we'll talk about next week?
Something else.
Something else. Okay.
Something else.
There you go. Next week will be Labor Day. So, end of summer.
Yep.
And today's the first day back to school for a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
Not you.
Not me.
Not you.
Not me. Not anymore.
Nope. Yay.
Done with that.
Yeah, this past Saturday was for me, it's my favorite Saturday out of the entire summer.
For me, for the last, probably 15 years.
Yeah.
It's been one of my least favorite days of the summer because we're at the fair and we're watching the Demolition Derby. Yeah. And I've got knots in my stomach thinking about everything that's coming up the next week and what I got left to do, and then facing new students. And, every year it's mixed bag. What am I going to get? Am I going to have a group of students that are going to be easy to deal with? Am I going to have a bunch of problem children? And you never know until you walk in there. And I didn't have that anxiety this year.
Nope.
This year, I just sat there and enjoyed watching the car smash into each other.
It's fun. I love it. It's my favorite thing.
My stress, my normal stress was not there.
Nope.
And so it's been quite the experience because today, now that they're back into the new year, at this point, I'm officially no longer there.
Nope.
So now I'm starting to feel retired from academia.
Yeah.
I am not retired by any means. Still busy doing this, and we'll be busy doing this and a lot more. But I am retired from that. That is, and that's, we could talk about that at some point too, moving through phases of your life and how sometimes you have to move from one phase to get to the next phase.
We can start talking about that.
And by next week, I will have a better handle on how the new phase feels versus the old phase. Yeah. Am I waking up in the middle of the night going, "Oh, what have I done?" Or
yeah, you're gonna do that.
Or am I feeling like, oh man, that was the smartest decision I've ever made. So no, so far, smartest decision is winning big time over what have I done? I really only had that thought about what have I done once.
Okay.
Now it's just thinking about health insurance.
Yeah.
But other than that, feels very good.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a fabulous week and enjoy your long Labor Day weekend next weekend. Bye. Everyone.